All right. If you don't mind, as if you are new, like to the group, um, if you're new to the group, can you please just introduce yourself? I think I see I catch you. I see Dome, right? Which I see Dome, right? Uh, so if you don't mind, can one of you guys, if you're able to speak, just introduce yourself. Um, tell us about what brought you. Tell us your background and just your background. That's just your background. You don't have to mention your name. I don't want to dox you. Just your background.
I'm dumb. Good
Hi.
afternoon, everybody.
Hey, good
I'm
afternoon.
dumb and I'm not new. I'm on the WhatsApp group and I attended like the last meeting. All right, so my name is Dominic in full and I'm a backend developer in Node.js. And yeah, so what brought me? What brought me? Like, I want to get a better job now. So
I mean, I'm telling
I
you.
need this.
All
So I need
right.
this sort of.
Welcome, welcome. I really appreciate the honesty, right? Me, I'm just here to like practice and get a good job. I mean, that's why we are here, man. So that we can get paid, get rich, and retire and go and spend our life on a boat or somewhere. All right. So again, I'll leave room for like a couple of folks to introduce themselves. All right. So just your background. You don't have to say your name, just your background. And yeah, that's it. I know we have like one or two like for other folks too.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you a little bit. Yes.
Okay, so yeah, I'm Emmanuel. I'm from Ghana.
Hey, Emmanuel. Nice. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah,
What's your background?
and yeah, I think I've been receiving full stack.
Oh, we didn't really hear you. Hello, Emmanuel. Yeah, we can't really hear you because I think maybe like internet issue. Emmanuel, maybe you can just because of network issue, maybe you can just
Actually,
like yeah.
and I'm also here to just I actually like solving even your I think notification. Hello.
Yeah, Emmanuel, it's really cutting out bad, so we can't really hear you. All right. I think he dropped. All right. So anyone else wants to like just introduce himself also? Maybe once he gets back, he'll be able to like speak. Anyone else wants to like can introduce himself?
Yeah, morning. I mean, good afternoon.
Hi, good
Good
afternoon.
afternoon, everyone.
Hi,
Okay, I'm
Iman.
Emmanuel, well, from Nigeria this time. I'm Emmanuel this time. Okay.
Okay.
I'm not really a tech person, but I'm learning. I'm learning a skill anyway.
Okay.
I'm learning programming, so I'm wishing to learn more. So that's why I'm joining the program.
What stack are you, learning?
Yeah, I'm still beginner, rather.
Okay. 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 All right. All right. Um. All right. So I'm going to give one more person to introduce themselves. So I guess if you are for those who've been here like a couple of times, I would like you to like to introduce yourself. Just let the new folks know like the background that you have, things like that. If you've been here before, if you've been on this meeting before, just for people to get a good grasp of people that are on this meetup. Can you tell us about your background, things like that? Just one person. Okay. All right, Richard.
Hi everyone. Good afternoon from here. I don't know what the time is on your own side, but my name is Richard. I'm into Android development. My tech stack is Java and Kotlin and the Android API. So yeah, basically that's my interest in technology and particularly mobile development. So I'm happy to be with you guys again and happy to see the new guys around.
Thank you very much. So, thank you very much for the introduction, right? Basically, so guys, if you guys have mobile questions, like if you're on fire, someone that you can consult with, it's going to charge you though. I'm just messing around. So basically, you can see like we have diverse, we have someone who will just come into the group, reach out to other folks, put question in the group, and hopefully someone is going to be chip in. I think someone asked a question about who is very familiar with C# or something in the group, right? Someone asked, is anyone familiar with .NET actually, .NET app, ASP core? And they were able to like get feedback from other people. So that's the point of the group. All right, so let's go back to main subject. So today we are going to be talking about this particular Leetcode question. For those who are on this meetup, please, it's on the WhatsApp group. And also, this is the link. If you're not on the WhatsApp group, please try to join. All right, this is the link. All right, so the question for today is actually a linked list, right? It's a medium level like Leetcode question. And I'm going to put that person on mute. All right. This question is it's very easy, right, to solve, but you need to be familiar with linked list, right? So now, for those who are not familiar with linked list, this is what they look like. An object pointer on 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 object, right? Now let's read the question. We'll go through the question, we'll navigate it, and give ourselves time to solve it. All right. It says you're given the head of a linked list. Good. So when they say the head of a linked list, they mean this. This is what they mean, right? The first guy, right? Which contains a series of integers, series of integers separated by zeros. This is a series of integers separated by zeros, right? The beginning and end of the linked list, right, will have the node value of 0. That means the value at the beginning, at the end will always be 0. Good. For every 2 consecutive zeros, right, merge all the node lying in between them into a single node. That means for every 2 of this, merge them into 1. So basically, what they are saying is that merge, for every 2 node, 1, 2, merge them into a single one, something like 4, right? Merge all the node line in between them into a single node, whose value is the sum of all the merged node. Basically, merge all the node in between every 2 value into 1. Merge this one into 4, merge this one into 11. The modified list should not contain any 0. So that means the resulting merge that you're about to do should not have 0 in it. What do they mean? They are giving you a linked list that are separated by zeros, right? Now, what they are saying is that they want you to merge this linked list into a resulting linked list. So let me show you what that looks like. So they're giving you a linked list of, I don't know, 0, 3, let me see. This thing can contain text. Yep, you can. They're giving you a linked list of 0, 3, 1. So 0, 3, 1, 0, 4, 5, 2, 0. They're giving you a linked list. Now they want you to merge this linked list into another resulting list. They want you to merge so that the resulting linked list is going to be the summation of this guy, which is 4, and the summation of this guy, which is 11. Right? That is what they want to. Now they want you to return this 4 and 11 to them in form of a linked list. Any question about the problem? Does it make sense?
Yeah, it does make okay. So it does make sense for me in sense of linked list, but in a case like JavaScript where we don't have a data structure like list.
Hmm.
So what do we do? How do we represent it in code or something?
I mean, I would say, right, so let me see. Yeah. So I want to, let me see. So for JavaScript, you're talking about like, I would say, I believe JavaScript has a class, right? Yes, JavaScript does have a class. So natively, you do not have a linked list object, but I'm going to show you what most programming languages do. In fact, the assumption is that you should not, right? No, what, before we go into that, yes, you have to use a class, right, to create your data structure. Now, before we go into that, I'm going to, does anyone understand the fundamental of the question? Then I'm going to talk about the data structure of linked list. But does anyone have any doubt or any confusing parts about what the question is asking of you?
I really don't understand the question.
Okay, thank you very much, Emmanuel, for honesty, right? So what they are saying is that they are giving you a linked list. A linked list is just 0 is pointing to 3, 3 is pointing to 1 in this direction, 1 is pointing to 0,
Okay.
0 is
I got
pointing
that.
to, okay? And you see, that's a linked list. Now, in this linked list, they want you like, basically for every 2 0 that you see, they want you to combine the value in between them into 4. And for every 2 0 that you see, the value into what? Other number. Then you now return the resulting number to them in form of a linked list. The number that you must return to them must be a linked list too. You just return the head of the linked list to them.
So, okay, for every zero value, like 2 0, number between the zeros, you add them together, you get a whole number.
Yes.
So those numbers, you make it a set.
Those numbers, I mean, you can use different strategy actually, depending on what is comfortable for you. You can, so I'm not going to talk about implementation. My main focus is going to be the question, understanding the question as your interviewer, making you understand the question. Now, implementation wise,
Okay.
it's going to be left to you. But of course, this session is to make sure that, people who are just coming to the field understand it. So what is going to happen is that I am going to, how do you erase? Okay, I'm going to create a new, let me make a new page. Let me make a new page here. Oh, let me make a new page. Sketch now. All right. Now let me explain what a linked list is, right? Do you guys understand the question? Let me explain what a linked list is. A linked list look like this, right? We have a bunch of numbers, right? Pointing to each other, as you can see from here. Now, this is how the data structure look like. So if 0 is the first number, right? A linked list is going to have something like a class, or depending on your programming language, like a class object, right? And in that class object, it's going to have the value. It's going to have the value, and a pointer. The value is going to hold the current value, and the pointer is going to point. The pointer is going to point to the next object. So what is going to happen is that they're going to have something like this. This one will hold the value of the next one, which is what, 3. And the pointer, which is going to be here, will point to the next value. You see? So 1, right? The pointer will also point to the next value. That's what the data object is going to look like, right? So 0 over another pointer that point to the next value, all the way to the end, right? All the way to the end. What's the last number? The last number is let me say 2 and 0. So let's say we now get to 2, right? We now get to 2. The pointer to 2 will now point to the last number. The last number to 2 is what? Is 0, right? Is 0. Now point to 0. Now point to 0. Now, guess what happened? What happens to the pointer here? The pointer here points to what we call null. It points to null, or whatever represents not a value in your programming language. In Python, is none. You see? Basically, your data structure is going to look like this. Your class is going to look like this. The value, and the next pointer, right? PTR. The value is going to hold the value of that object. The pointer is going to point to the next object. So if anybody wants to get all the number that is inside this linked list, they will use object.value, right? To get the value of the current object, right? They will use object.pointer to get what the next object is going to be. Does linked list make sense to folks? Does it make sense? Any question about this? Right? So that's why they call them link, because they are linking themselves with pointers. You see? It's like, think of it as, for those who need visuals, think of it as, you know, the way when you're in secondary school, you guys line up, right? You guys line up in secondary school, right? You're not there to hold your hand, right? You guys form a linked list, right? And imagine the name on your school badge is your value. But if someone to ask you, who are you? The name on your school badge is your value. By holding the next person, that person can follow your hand and see. Your teacher can follow your hand and see the next person and read that person's name again. Then follow that person and read the next person between them. But the last person does not have anybody to read. So the last person will now point to a null. So that the teacher, by the time the teacher sees that the last person doesn't point to anything, the teacher can stop counting or whatever he's doing. Maybe he's trying to flog all of you or something. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Does it make sense, folks? All right. Is there any question about this?
Anyway, all I want to say is because I'm actually new and I know some people are new here. So in as much as I understand your explanation, but I don't think I can implement it anyway in my head. So I'll probably just wait and see what everybody does.
What about if we do this, right? What about if we don't wait? Try it first, right? So what programming language do you use?
Python.
Python. Easy. Python is actually the easiest for you to work with. So I'm going to give you a tip. The programming language, Leetcode already gave you the data structure. Leetcode, they already gave you list node, right? Now, they already gave you the data structure and they already composed the linked list for you by giving you the head of the linked list, right?
Okay.
So your job now is just to navigate the linked list and get the sum. That's your job. So
Okay.
if you go to JavaScript, so I'm very sure, I haven't looked. See, in JavaScript itself, in fact, there is this thing, list node function. They already gave you what you need, the data structure, right? For those on C#, they already gave you class that you need. They already built that for you. So you don't have to build the data structure, just understand how to navigate, right? And how do you navigate? By getting the next, right? If you want to go to the next node, just get the next, right? Yeah. All right. Now, thank you very much, Richard, for the question. We need to look at the constraint. The constraint simply says that the number of nodes will always be between, let me mute that person. All right. The constraint simply says that the number of nodes will always be between 3 and 2 times 10 raised to the power 5, right? So that means that your node will always, right? Remember, it says number of nodes will always be between like 3 and 2 times 10 raised to the power 5. That means the minimum number that is going to be in the linked list is going to be 3. That means it can't be less than 3. And it says that the value of each node will always be between 0 and 1000. Okay, so the first constraint is that our value is always going to be between 3 and 2 times 10 raised to the power 5. It says the next condition is that each of these values inside this box will always be between 0 and 1000. That means there won't be anything negative or anything more than 1000. Now, Richard, to answer your question, in the constraint, you said there are no 2 consecutive nodes with node value 0. What does that mean? It means that in your linked list, you will never find anything that is 0 points to another 0. Excuse me. All right. Excuse me. You will never have a situation whereby a 0 points to another 0. So that answers your question, right? That's in the constraint. And also they said the beginning and the end of the linked list have the value, node value 0. That means the beginning of the linked list and the end will always be 0. You see, this thing is actually very easy, right? It's a very good way to introduce yourself to linked list for those who have not, right? All right. Any question about this, folks? So I'm going to give all of us like about 20 minutes to like knock this out. And once you're done, right, please share your solution on the WhatsApp group. And the reason why I advocate the WhatsApp group is that people using the WhatsApp group, people can look at your solution after this class. So post your solution in the WhatsApp group. How do you know your solution is working? When you click this submit button and it's accepted, that means your solution is working. That means you're good to go, right? If you write it in your head and you don't click this submit button, your solution might still be wrong. All right?
Sorry, please. Sorry.
Go ahead. Just ask it.
How do I get to the WhatsApp group?
Oh, the WhatsApp group. Oh, you're not part of the group yet. So let me give you the invite.
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm going to.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, I'm going to copy the link. Okay.
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hey, John. Hello.
Hello,
John.
Tunde.
Yeah, I can hear you now. Hello, John.
Yeah, I'm actually new. Yeah, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yes, like I said before, I'm actually new to JavaScript. I'm a
Mhm.
beginner, so to speak. You understand? So I have never come across this linked list you're talking about today. So I don't know, even to comprehend what you're trying to say is somehow difficult to me. But I don't have any other choice but to pay attention. Maybe after on I'll just go and browse about it and know more about it and all that. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean that's how it's always.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay. So I logged the head that is being passed into the function automatically. I logged it to the console and I found out that it's an array. Do you know what an array is? The guy that just spoke. Sorry, I was looking for the word.
Yes. I know what an array is. Yes.
Yeah.
I know what an array
So
is.
when I logged it, what I saw it. Is that the
Go
Yeah.
ahead.
So when I logged it, what I saw was an array. So if you can work with an array, I think, because we don't have, and to start implementing it.
Oh, sorry. Oh, I think I muted the wrong person. Yeah, that background. I think it's come from John. Yeah.
Okay, so and JavaScript does not have linked lists. So and if you want to, JavaScript does not have classes to be technically correct.
Technically
Now, if you want
collect.
to start implementing, if you want to start implementing classes, that means this thing, this what's it called? This question is it has you to has to make you do two things. First, you have to implement the class first, then you now solve the question. And I doubt that that's what these things are for. I don't know. I'm just saying. So me, I'm going as I've seen an array being passed into like an array was passed as the value of head when I did console.log head and I
Mm-hmm.
ran the code and I saw an array. Right. So I'm just going to work with an array.
All right.
I'm going
Okay.
to
All right. So I just want, I want people to be console.log. Okay. Log ed. Am I missing something? Oh, std out right here. Yeah, std out. Yeah, console.log. It's an array. Right. Right.
yeah,
So
so I'm saying if you can work with an array, because I think one can get the solution of this from that list, from that array.
yes,
So if
yes,
you can work with it,
yes.
it just has to find out where zero. Okay, well, it doesn't. It just has to find out where zero is and where zero is not, and do its addition.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I mean, you're correct. You're absolutely right. You just have to find out basically how to navigate it, right? So, folks, I'm going to give this advice. If you're coming to if you're coming to solve these kind of challenges, right? Your number one thing is that pick a language that that has the right data structure for you. Me, Python is what I use, but Python is not my go-to language for a lot of things lately. But when it comes to programming, Leetcode, Python is my go-to, right? Because Python has every data structure that I'm looking for. Just because you program in Ruby does not mean Ruby is going to be the best language for Leetcode, right? So try to find a language that you're comfortable with that has the data structure. The top ones is Python, Java, C#. Even Go, all those ones are not good with Leetcode because they don't have a lot of inbuilt data structure. So this is one of the cheats that you have to do in this language. I mean, look at the JavaScript one and look at my Python. Which one is easier to navigate? So one of the cheat things that you have to learn in this trade of this programming language is that you need to find a language that has a lot of programming, a lot of data structure that you need and that you're going to be familiar with, that is easy to get familiar with rather. You see, if you go to online, you see engineers for top companies telling you that they have to pick up Python within 3 or 4 weeks. Although normally they are like JavaScript engineer, but they have to pick up Python or Java or something within 1 or 2 weeks, just because they don't want to spend a lot of time on programming this thing. If you are super good with JavaScript, if you're exceptional with, I don't know, Racket or Erlang or Elixir or PHP, if you're exceptional and you're confident about yourself, go ahead and use it, right? But if you're starting out, find a language that you're comfortable with, that has the most things that you need, and start practicing with that, right? I really can't listen all that, Gideon, because I really can't listen all that because it depends on what you're comfortable with. Me, I'm gonna pick Python. For someone who's an Android developer, it makes sense for them to pick Java or something, right? Right.
Yeah, I use Java.
Yeah, so it makes sense for those kind of people to use Java, right? So I'll say find a place that is comfortable, that you're comfortable with, and start knocking things out. All right, folks. So for those in JavaScript, please attempt it. Attempt it and attempt it. If you don't get it, it's fine. But if you're attempting it, right? And if you attempt it now, it will force you to come back to it later. All right. So I'm going to pick Python. I'm going to do it on a different screen. Anyone else going to be working on this? Anyone else?
Yeah, sure. I'm
All right.
working on it.
All right. Thanks. Anyone else who working on this on Leetcode?
I'm working on it.
All right. All right. What about the rest? I've already solved it. Well, let me pull it on a different. I'm going to be solving on a different screen again. All right. All right. All right. So, folks, let's go ahead and get the party started. I'm also solving it. That's why I'm muted. Also, feel free to Google like anything that you need, but not the solution though. Use anything that you need, and yeah. All right, we have about 4 minutes. Has anyone been able to make progress? If you have a solution, just share in the group. The WhatsApp group, I mean.
My solution doesn't pass all test cases.
Trust me, that's part of the game, right? The first one I actually submitted did not, right? That made me realize one line that I was missing, and I added the line. Yeah, it's part of the game.
Yeah, still debugging, John.
Yeah. I mean, you guys look at my submission anyway. You see wrong answer, and the one I just tried this morning. You see? Oh yeah, you look at my solution right here. Like it just got accepted. The first one I was wrong answer. That's my solution language. Very Python. By looking at my solution, I can already tell what I need to do to optimize. Right. Basically, I can just reuse existing list objects, right? I can reuse existing objects. My array is going to be faster. All right, 2 more minutes. Oops. All right. So I stopped. Does anyone want to share like their thought process right now? Like something you don't have to have a final solution, something just what you're walking through.
Yeah, because I don't know why I'm having a null pointer exception. Like it passes the first test case, but then in the second test case, it has a null pointer exception. I don't know why.
Can you share your screen so that we can, you don't have to have this final solution, so that we can just see your thought logic, right? So that I can just see like what other people are thinking. Right.
Okay. Share screen. Okay. Can you see my screen now?
Yeah, we can see your screen.
Yeah, so basically what I'm doing, right, is first of all creating a dummy node, which I would use to create the results node, like the result linked list.
Right.
I'm going to use that to create the result linked list. And initially I'm setting it to a -1. That's the value of it. And I'm just creating a next pointer to it for a new, like I'm creating a new list node for the next pointer.
Right.
Then I'm setting my result list node to the dummy, which is basically the head of the result list I'm trying to create. And this is basically a variable which I'm going to use to hold the result of each values within 2 consecutive zeros. Right. And what I'm saying in essence is I want to skip the first 0 because I'm not interested in it.
Right.
So
right.
I'm setting my current node to the head's next value, which is the next value of yeah. So I'm saying while I'm looping through the linked list and I'm checking if the value of the current node I'm sitting at is 0. Once I see a 0, right? Okay, let me skip this first part. So what I'm doing is, as long as it's not a 0 I'm sitting on for the node, I'll be appending the value of that. I'll be adding all the values with that I'm seeing, as long as it's not a 0.
Makes sense.
But when I hit a 0, I will just assign the value of that linked list I'm trying to create. I'll assign the value to the value I've summed so far.
Right.
And I'll move it to its next pointer.
Okay.
So I can update it. But then you can see this particular one works. But if I submit it, it gives me a null pointer exception, obviously. This null pointer exception on this place.
Right. It says like you have a null pointer exception. All right, current the next. So basically,
so it's saying this dummy value at that point, wherever it's trying to assign the value is null.
Is null, right? Yeah, the dummy value is null. And so let me see. Okay, let's see into that the line 22. Dummy equals to dummy next. Sorry. So dummy equals to dummy next. This
could actually cause a null pointer exception.
That is going to cause if a null pointer exception. Yeah, that line. Look at line 22.
Yeah, maybe I could say something like the next value.
Yeah, you can put a conditional.
Is null. Maybe this could work, and I could just say
maybe it could just is not null.
Okay, yeah. If it's not null, that's when I could move.
That's if you set your string, right? I think that line is where I also have to try this like a couple of times. That line could be where we're having issue, right?
Okay, so but what of a scenario where it's null? Because it's possible.
When the last value is null, that means that the list has ended.
Okay, let me see if that works. I think it doesn't. So it doesn't actually hit that last value.
Yes. So we've moved past the null pointer like exception. So now it's telling you something. I also ran into this exact thing. I also ran into it. I would like you to figure out what the problem is because so it's a one-liner thing. I also ran into this particular error. If you look at my error, that's exactly what I ran into. It's because you're not moving something to next.
Yeah.
So that's why. But this is good. This is good. All right. Once you have your solution, please share in the group also. All right. Yeah, anyone else wants to talk about their solution or discuss their solution?
Please, I have a question. Okay, I have a question rather than solution.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. So I tried implementing it. Possibly, I was like thinking that that the listener was probably an array that was coming in. So, but then when I try to look through this, I can't look through. So that means it's not an array. So I would like to know if list node is actually a built-in function in probably C# or Java, because okay, for example, you can use a list or maybe a dictionary, create a new dictionary, create a new list. Now, I'm seeing, I think the last solution that was presented by Richard, he was using list node.nest. So that means for you to be using .nest, it simply means this might be a built-in, let's say, parameter with, okay, that has methods built in, like built into it. So I would like to know if that list is actually a built-in function in Java or maybe C# and the rest.
Oh yeah, to answer your question, it's not built in. Right. So that means if you go outside of this Java IDE, you will not see it. It's just provided by Leetcode. It's not built in, but it's
Oh,
provided for this solution by Leetcode for you.
okay. So the .nest is also part of what was provided, because I think it was in .nest.
Yeah,
Like
the
to move
object,
on.
yeah, the class itself was provided, including that .nest. So you don't have to like build one yourself.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah, you
because
actually see it commented out at the
Yeah,
top there.
it's at the top. Yeah.
okay. So that simply means I cannot even use Visual Studio to even try to implement this thing.
No, you have to use their IDE. You have to use Leetcode to go and do it. I think. Wait, does virtual do they support like Virtual Studio? Nope, they don't. Just like maybe the closest thing you can get is maybe C# or something. Yeah. All right, folks. So we've gone over time, right? Let me mute. We've gone over time, right? So part of these classes, I'll say class, part of this session is also like doing demo of any cool thing that you have, right? Any cool software that you're working on, stuff like that. And if it's just for this particular session, no one indicated that they have something to demo, right? So if you have anything to demo, there is no, just any project. It could be personal project or some cool thing that you learned that you want to like demo. Just let me know. Um, in exchange for that, you get like 10,000 naira for data for spending your data money. Yeah. So if you have anything to demo, it could be a school project, personal project, some things that you learned, some project that you built. Just let me know. Every Saturday, the person that demos gets 10,000 for data.
Okay, let me ask a question. Okay, so when you mean project, is it only related to, let's say, what to build with code? Because, for example, we have, okay, for example, I don't know if I can maybe present a project that has to do with a Microsoft product, for example, Power Automate, Power Apps. I don't know if you know about it, but then you can use Power Automate actually, sorry, Power Apps, to build, let's say, applications, probably, though used mostly within organizations, but then I don't know if it's something that is accepted within this sphere. Probably I can just bring it up and maybe explain how it works. Maybe also show projects. You use it to create app from scratch and probably also automate processes, that kind of stuff. So I don't know if it's accepted within this sphere or
Yeah,
just what you do.
right, anything that involves you writing a programming language to build it is acceptable, right? If it
Okay.
involves like programming language, right? That means you wrote a
Mhm.
programming language, it could be C#, Java, and you built it yourself, right? It is acceptable, right? Provided you can walk through the code. You can walk us through the code. It's totally fine. It doesn't have to be web app. It could be mobile
Yeah.
app. It could be smart contract. It could be augmented reality or whatever field, as long as it involves the use of programming language and you can walk us through the code. It accepts. I think Richard has hands.
Oh
Hello?
yeah, I actually have stuff to do this thing to present, but then I was thinking it would make sense to be complete before I actually present them. So
Yeah.
I just wanted to clarify if it makes sense that way, because I was thinking it has to be complete to present.
As long as it's at a very, demo stage, right? That's which a demo stage. It's a working stage, right? That's it. as long as it's has reached a working stage, right? You can demo it that it's working. The objective of the demo is achieved. That's it, right?
All right. Then probably next time we could work with that now.
Okay, no problem. If anyone, as long as it has a demo, like a working stage, like it's working, and it uses a programming language, you can demo it. All right. Does anyone have any demo that meets that criteria? It uses a programming language, it has a working stage. All right. So for next class, please reach out to me before the meeting, right? Reach out to me before the meeting so that I can know what you're trying to demo, the objective, the language, and I'll give you your 15 minutes and your 10,000 naira for your troubles for data. Okay. And is there anything that someone wants to say? Anything? So guys, it doesn't have to be a very complex demo. It could be like a very simple CLI that you wrote with like some popular, TypeScript package. For example, I was at work. I was writing like a CLI for doing some automated workflow, right, for creating pull requests. A CLI for creating pull requests, based on the repo, right? So it could be something as simple as that, right? It doesn't have to be something very complex. But you need to be using a programming language, and it has to be like working demo. Yep. All right. Any question?
Yeah. I mentioned about those resources I talked about for dynamic programming. I mentioned about it. I don't think you caught it when I mentioned.
Oh, shoot. All right. So, all right. Give me. I have very busy today. Give me tonight. I'm probably going to compile. Let me even write it down. Give me tonight. I'm going to compile it and just tag you. Right. Just your name is still. Is it Richard on the group, right?
No, Lord Solid.
Oh, Lord Solid. Yeah. Okay, that's it. Sure. I'm going to tag you on that. Let me just put Lord Solid. All right. Dynamic programming. So yeah, I think I have that down.
All right, thanks.
All right, folks. Thanks for coming to today's, and see you next Saturday.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, welcome. Bye.